Hello everyone, it's Mike. I just wanted to take you through a short video this morning to demonstrate how to unsync your local drive from SharePoint. This has become necessary as we're starting to lose files due to differences in computers across the region and internet speeds. So in some cases files that have been uploaded are deleted and we're unable to find or retrieve them. So if you are not synced to SharePoint, if you don't have a local folder that syncs to SharePoint, you don't need to worry about this. But if you do, you should follow this process to unlink it. And at the end of the video, I'll show you a few tips on how to manage your files and uploads locally to make it easier for yourself. So the first thing you do is to find your blue icon, the HomeSol cloud icon down here. On my particular computer, it shows in my taskbar right away down here, and it says it's up to date. That's also important. If it's in the process of updating, you have to wait till it's finished before you go any further. So if you don't see it there, the other possibility is it would be here. If you click on the little up arrow and you'd find it in here. So either way, when you find it, point at it and right click on it. And it'll open the list and you'll see there's a settings option here. And what you want to do is click on unlink this PC and unlink account. Now I'm going to do this in a second, but on your particular computers this process may take many hours to do. Having said that, that doesn't prevent you from working or continuing to do your work just in this period of time, and beyond that actually. Don't use your SharePoint folders anymore that are on your local drive. Because those are disconnected from the cloud. Any updates there will not make it to the cloud. So we'll unlink this and you'll see the little cloud and it'll say signing out. And on your computers this may take several hours. On mine I've just got a small site that I sync this to, so it signs out fairly quickly. And when I get back to this screen, just close it off and you'll be unconnected from the SharePoint Sync. So when I talk about your local drive, so you will have a blue icon down here on the left related to your the previous SharePoint sync. That's the one I want you to avoid going forward. Don't use that. I would leave it there for at least a few weeks and then you can delete it once we're sure everything's taken and up to date. So in my case, I've created a folder on my C drive called HomeSol Working Files. So that's where you would prepare all your files to send to the cloud. And I put in a Ready for Review subfolder. So it goes Ready for Review. And I've drilled it here, and here's a file that's ready for upload. Now what I want to do is create a shortcut link to this. So rather than me having to open my File Explorer, find it in the list, navigate into there, which will take you time and we don't want to waste your time, I want to create a desktop shortcut for this. So I'm going to, once I get into the Ready for Review area where I'm going to create my my file, so this is your own local drive where you've done this. I'm going to click up here and copy it because the address will be different for different people. And then I'm going to go back to the desktop here. I'll just move this out of the way. And I'm going to right click and say I want a new shortcut. And I'm going to paste that path in that I just copied. Next. And I'm going to call this local Ready for Review. You will see I already have a shortcut up here, but I imagine it'll ask me to, do you want to replace it? Yes. You won't get that message because I'd already created it once. The second shortcut, and I've also got one up there, I'm going to delete it so I can do it from scratch, relates to your SharePoint. So in your SharePoint, browse to the Ready for Review. So for this example, I'm going to go into the Energy Advisors Atlantic. And I'm just going to go into the first one I find, JJ here. So in your case, you'd go into your own folder, but I'm just going to go into JJ, assuming that's who I am. So I'm here already. I want to go to the Action folder and Ready for Review. Now, I don't want to go into this folder. What I want to do when I get to here is click here, and over on the little ellipsis and say copy the link, and copy, and copy. You can close that, and then I'm going to go back to my desktop and create a new shortcut to SharePoint. So new shortcut, I'm going to paste that link I just copied out of SharePoint. Next, and I'm going to call this SharePoint ready for review. And finish. So I'm going to keep these together on my desktop if these are the sort of two main areas I'm going to. If there's other places you're uploading regularly to, you can create another sort of pair of those. Sort of the shortcut to your local drive, the shortcut to SharePoint, and put them together. So the advantage of this, pardon me, is now when I'm working, if I want to go into my working folder, ready for review, I'm just going to bring this over. It opens like this, and I'm working on, say, this file or folder. I put my files in here. I've just put some of my own files in there just for demonstration purposes. So this link opens up that right away, okay? And then this one opens up SharePoint right away, and it'll pop up in different places on your screen. Now at this point, what I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to shrink this down a bit and put it on one side of my screen. I'm going to shrink this down. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Shrink this one down a bit and put it on the other side, and kind of position it so they're side by side, and visually I can sort of see where I'm coming from and where I'm going to go to over here. So I'm just going to close that again, bring it back up to the right location. So here's the, and this got a little widened by mistake. So I'm basically going to position this. So all of this process, creating the shortcuts and positioning these, this is a one-time process, because once they're positioned, and we'll do the upload in a second, if I close this, the next time I open these shortcuts, they open up in the same positions on my screen, and they're ready to go. So I've just finished my working on this folder. It's ready to be put in my ready for review. I simply drag this over and drop it here. Now, I mentioned this in my initial SharePoint training, and any of you who had the direct training, that it's important when you come over here, if you have a whole bunch of files here, it may try to put it inside one of the folders. So if you have that, because I've got a lot of white area down here, in this case, it puts the little, dotted line around the outside of the screen, which is what I want. If you don't have, or if you have a full screen of folders, you may have to go up into just above name, right in here, to get that dotted line around the outside. Very important, it's around the outside. If it's here or here, it's going to go inside that folder, which is probably not where you want it. So I'm just going to drop it here. You'll see it's going to say uploading one item, and it won't take very long because those files aren't that big. And it will finish. Important that you leave this window open and you do not turn off your computer during that process, because it will not finish the process and it will not resume it the next time you turn your computer on or open your. So make sure this gets sort of clear. It's done. That's good. You can close this off and go back to work. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope we can avoid any lost files and issues in the future. Thanks for your time.